In Begur, we have Panchalingeshwara temple complex. This temple is from 900 CE. This temple is older than Tirupati temple, is older than the temples in Hampi. Where we are today is 13 degrees north of the equator. About 250 million years ago, this place actually was close to the Antarctica. The rock in Lalbagh is actually a leftover from those days.
This episode has told us why this podcast is so important as well.
It is.
I've almost teared up, by the way. You can't
Okay.
see. I've almost teared up because of all the things that you said. The first question I have for you, Uday, how old is Bangalore?
That's the question that I usually start my discussions with as well. How old is Bangalore has multiple answers. It depends on who you ask this question to when I pose it to this one. So the community of recent migrants to Bangalore, which will be the IT sector, tech sector and all of that. So for them, the city happened in the 90s.
There are so many comments on episodes and on my saying that if IT had not happened, Bangalore would have remained a village. And I'm like, hey,
For the generation that are the children of the public sector employees, HMT, BL, HAL. When did Bangalore happen? In the 60s when the public sector was set up here.
Right.
For the people who did not migrate but were essentially second, third generation or more in the city, the British built it for a lot of them.
Right.
The cantonment and all of that happened basically because of the British, and that's when it happened. And then for the longer stay people here, Kempegowda built it in the 1500s.
Right.
Okay.
And made all those towers and everything.
Yeah, and build the fort and build the petes and build the towers.
The lakes,
and all of that as well. If I think about it a little bit differently and say, how is the city documented in history? The historical documents are essentially writings on stones called inscription stones. Now, the first written reference of Bengaluru is in an inscription from 900 CE, which is at Begur. It says in the Bengaluru battle, a few people died.
It says on the inscription stone.
On the stone. That's what it's written.
And this is written in Hale Kannada?
This is written in Kannada of that period.
That's the first mention we know of.
We know of to date. Which means 1100 years ago, Bengaluru existed. We have evidences of people settling here, which go back about 2,500 years. The first written record mention is from 900.
Right.
However, evidence of people living here, in the form of coins, in the form of dolmens, which are stone structures, all of that, it go back about 2,500 years.
What is this dolmen you spoke about?
Yeah, it's like a burial site. It's like a cylindrical room in stone slabs, a vertical stones kind of lined up vertically. And a stone roof on top. And with a small hole for you to get in and get out.
These are there in Bangalore?
These are there in Bangalore, and what's very surprising is not too far from where we are now. Those are some of the best kept secrets of Bengaluru.
What are you saying?
Yeah. So we have, basically these are from the period called the Stone Ages. 2,000 to 5,000 years old and all of that. We have lots of evidences of these in Bengaluru. So we have one here, in a place called Kannur, which is on Hennur-Banswadi Road, a little further down. We have found these in Lalbagh. We have found these in Ragigudda. We have found these in Tippasandra. We have found these in Jakur.
These are burial sites?
These are burial sites. They are also in Jadalli. We have found what is called a stone tools making factory. So for an axe, they would have tie a piece of sharpened stone or to a meat cleaver or any one of those. So in Jadalli, they found a place which is producing so many of these tools. Essentially, they were making it for others.
Where in Jadalli?
Close to HMT factory. So where we have factories today, essentially they have a tradition of about 2,000 plus years of industrialization there.
On these dolmens, there are inscriptions saying...
No, there's no writing there.
So then how are you assessing the age of that?
One is the form and shape of it essentially give us that. Inside that you find pottery. Sometimes in the pottery you find grains and stuff like that as well. So essentially, just like you and I are wearing t-shirts today, t-shirts become a fashion in the 2000s and pre-whatever, right? So the moment you see a photograph of a person with a t-shirt, you can say he's definitely not 10th century. He's from the 21st century. So in the same way, in exactly the same way, you can date many things on their style
So you're dating it based on visual clues.
and organic material in that.
Okay, so that's
carbon dating.
carbon
of that.
dating, okay.
Yeah, all of those kind of things as well.
Right.
However, there's something again spectacular about Bangalore, which I think Janvi Palke referred to in a tangential way. How old is Bangalore is essentially as old as the Earth. Where we are today is 13 degrees north of the equator. About 250 million years ago, this place actually was close to the Antarctic. Then in the 250 million years, it floated right up, crossed the equator, and we are where we are today.
Okay, and this you know because?
This we know because of two things. The rock in Lalbagh,
The nice rock that she spoke about.
the nice rock that she spoke about, is actually a leftover from those days. Okay, and because of plate tectonics and essentially
Yeah.
science, we know where it originated from, and we know the movements of these plates over the millions of years. So amongst the oldest places on Earth, there's only two other places on Earth which have rock from that period or older. None of them are in an urban setting. One is in Canada, deep in the Rockies somewhere. You'll have to go see. If you want to see that, you'll have to go in the snow and ice and all that. The other is in mid-Australia.
Okay.
Again, deserted places.
Right.
So how old is Bangalore? As old as the
Earth.
Earth. And this is the only place where you can find material from as old as the Earth here. In an urban setting, in an urban context.
Mind blown.
Isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah. So the journey of Bangalore starts 250 million years ago, somewhere close to the Antarctic, and then, as opposed to, say, being around from 1990s.
Like, reminds me of a story of this guy, Ashok, Masala Lab. The guy who does
Chris
masala.
Ashok.
Chris Ashok, correct. He spoke about the curry mean.
Yeah.
The curry mean, there's only two places that you find it in
Madagascar.
Kerala and Madagascar, which means that Madagascar and Kerala were actually part of the same
Exactly.
thing, and then they broke apart and they floated away.
Exactly.
And that's why you have the curry mean in both
Places, right.
So you said something very interesting. You said that when you start your conversations or your talks,
Discussions.
you start with how old is Bangalore, and then the next question that you get asked is how old is your locality?
Exactly.
Which is the oldest locality in Bangalore?
From a historian's perspective, 16th century is almost contemporary.
Right.
That's a clue.
Sure. I sucked at history, okay.
This is a traffic junction, Silkboard Junction.
Okay, right.
Okay. Now that area is essentially Begur,
Where you got the first inscription.
where we get the 900 CE Bengaluru
stone.
inscription from.
Right.
That is mentioned in an earlier inscription from around 500 CE by the same name, Begur. A place has been around for 1500 years. Obviously, it's going to be busy. Right?
True.
Yeah.
True. Cannot argue with that.
Can't be haunted. It can't be deserted. Obviously not. If people have been living there for 1500 years, you do expect a lot of
More people to be there.
Absolutely. Right?
Law of reproduction.
Yeah. So that's the oldest locality of Bangalore. But the better known place name is not Begur. The better known place name is actually Electronic City. The edge of Electronic City is actually Begur. So that region, Begur, Togur, Chiktogur, Big Togur, and all of this. But the world knows that as Electronic City.
Electronic City, right. Okay.
So if you ask me which is the oldest known locality of electronic, in Bangalore, and I answer Electronic City, you would be laughing as loud as this.
And then
because it happened in the 90s.
And the 90s will say, we knew it.
Yeah.
It is because of us only that Bangalore became old. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every locality of Bangalore. It could be Jayanagar, it could be Indiranagar, it could be Rajajinagar. All of these places actually have histories that go back many, many, many centuries, some cases tens of centuries. I'll give you a couple of examples of how these are kind of understood, deduced. Indiranagar is probably known as Indiranagar to a lot of people.
Yes.
But in the heart of Indiranagar is a place called Binnamangala. Now, Binnamangala is mentioned by the same name in a 12th century inscription at Domblur. In Domblur, there is a Domblur Chokkanatha Swami temple, which is full of inscriptions in which you find the mention of Domblur, you find the mention of Binnamangala, you find the mention of Kodihalli, you find the mention of Jalalli, you find the mention of so many such places there. That's how we know this place existed then. So essentially how Bangalore has evolved is that take a village, the government takes over the land of that village, and then breaks it into blocks, phases, mains, crosses, and all of that. If you trace back every land record in Indiranagar today, it goes back to a survey number ABC of Bindamangala village.
Was there a system in which the government did this? So how did
They would adapt to the surroundings as it is. So usually the village will be intact, not disturbed. All the agricultural land around that would be taken over by the government.
Okay.
And that's depending on the terrain, they design the roads and the areas and all of that. So if you see every locality, JP Nagar is built around Saraki. Rajajinagar is built around a place called Kethamaranahalli.
Okay.
Okay. Every locality, including here, this is the Kacharkanhalli area.
Right.
There's Lingarajpuram, whatever. People may know it as Lingarajpuram, but Kacharkanhalli is really what it is.
Okay.
Okay. So every village, every locality of Bangalore is designed around one or multiple villages. So while we know Indiranagar is probably from the 80s or the 70s, Bindamangala goes back 1,000 years. So if I ask how old is a locality, inevitably they'll say it's named after Indira Gandhi, so it must have been 1890s.
MG Road. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. But when you understand the origins of the place, then you begin to think of it differently.
Fabulous. Koramangala?
It is also 1100 years old. Koramangala name essentially is a newer form of a place called Koramangala, which is mentioned in an inscription, fascinating inscription from 900 CE, which is now in the Bengaluru Museum. The interesting part about this inscription is it mentions 12 localities of Bengaluru, Yelkunte, which is HSR Layout, Togur, which is Electronic City, Begur, which is also Begur as it is now, and Koramangala, which is whatever, Nallurhalli, all of these exist in Bangalore today. So this is what makes the story so special. People think we are a modern, high-tech city. That's true. The world's flocking here because of that reason.
Yeah.
But this is a historic city too. There is no other place in the world which has both of these together. So this combination of the ancient and the ultra-modern, we are uniquely placed for them.
Let's get down to the basics. What is an inscription stone?
It's just simply writing on stone. Any event that was thought to be significant enough, the building of a village,
Okay.
the building of a temple, the building of a lake, donations to a temple, martyrs. All history that we know today is essentially information gleaned from such writings on stones. Now, in the city of Bengaluru, we have about 175 inscriptions discovered and read so far.
Right.
These 175 span the entire city. That's how we know the story of the city. Karnataka has upwards of about 50,000 such inscriptions in nearly every village. Tamil Nadu has supposedly 75,000 inscriptions. So the collective summarization of all of these is the story of our land.
Why is it called a Veerakallu?
A hero stone is not an inscription stone.
There's a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A hero stone is a memorial stone.
Okay.
It's not a gravestone. There's a difference between the two. Now, a hero is essentially is a martyr. These were put up as memorial stones, not only to be worshipped, to also play a kind of role in educating the people, role models to live up to.
Right.
And by the way, these are all ordinary people.
So
they are not soldiers. They're not signed up to die in a battle like this.
Right.
They just happened to be incidentally there at that time.
So you said a sculpture was put up.
On the stone, they would carve the scene.
Oh, they would carve the scene. So it's not like you've sculpted a thing out. So you've basically done something like a inscription stone only, except there's now a picture on it.
It's pictorial.
It's pictorial.
Yep.
These are also like small stones that have been put in public spaces.
Yes, they're not really small. Many of them are like about 5 feet or more.
And these are there in Bangalore?
There are about 90 of these in Bangalore. We have one in Hebbal, which is the oldest hero stone we have found so far in Bangalore. It also has an inscription. The hero's name in that case is Kittaya. So this is in the year about 725.
Okay.
Hebbal is mentioned by name, and we are talking about localities there. So Hebbal goes back to the 8th century. And it says the Rattawadis, or is another name for Rashtrakutas, attacked Hebbal with the intention of destroying the place. The exact term they have used is Ur Alivu. So this person Kittaya actually spotted them, fought with them, drove them away. In the process, he died. That scene is depicted on the stone with him with a bow and arrow and his body pierced with spears and all of that, and the attacking force on a horseback, all sculpted on a stone. And the entire story also written on stone.
Where in Hebbal is this?
This is the heart of Hebbal. Again, notoriously famous for just
the flyover.
for the traffic jams there. And probably again, same rationale. If the place has been around there for so long, you obviously expect people there, right? So if you're going down, if you're going up the flyover from, let's say, Mekri Circle side towards the airport, as you're climbing the flyover, on your right side, you'll see a mosque with some minar just behind that. It was sitting in a drain on the road. It was discovered in 2018. Okay. And now it's in a magnificent mantapa called a Ganga-style mantapa, crowdfunded by Bengalurians.
So lovely.
It's one of the must-see sites in Bengaluru.
Amazing.
It's better showcased than the Ashokan inscription in Sarnath, which is on everybody's. It's on
must-see places, bucket list. You studied in which school and college?
I studied in school, a national school in Rajajinagar.
Not National Public School.
It is now called National Public School. Those days it used to be called National English School, and then I switched to Indian High School, St. Joseph's.
How come that switch happened?
Because
in which standard?
Because the national school followed the CBSE NCERT syllabus, and there was about 5 subjects in Hindi which I couldn't manage. Before they threw me out, I had to go somewhere.
So your parents chose St. Joseph's Indian High School?
Because the school teacher lived opposite my house.
Oh my God.
So he managed to get me a seat.
And then how you traveled after that? Bus? Or you went with the English school teacher?
Bus. Sometimes with the teacher, sometimes by bus.
And Kantirwa was there at that time?
Was there.
The lake had already gone?
Oh, lake had gone. Long time. Yeah. In fact, both the school and the lake are built, the stadium are built over the same lake.
Oh, okay.
People don't know that part of the Grant Road, or whatever it's called now.
So you could cut across Kantirwa Street?
You could walk across Kantirwa Street.
Okay. What's the Rajajinagar story?
What's
not yours? We'll come to your story. What is the Rajajinagar story? Is there an inscription stone? Is there a hero stone?
Absolutely, and it's both my story and the Rajajinagar story. I'm essentially a grounded Rajajinagar person, in the sense that that's where I literally was born, as well as grew up, as well as live. Hopefully will spend the rest of my life there.
Right.
Except that the time when I was growing up, the place was lesser known, though the official address was Rajajinagar, the place was better known as Kethamaranahalli. The entire locality of Rajajinagar is actually designed around Kethamaranahalli village. Just like most Bengalurians, I lived a very beaten path of becoming an engineer. So most of my work life essentially was, while I was based in Bangalore, was for clients abroad. So anywhere and everywhere I went, I used to typically see history, heritage being celebrated fantastically.
Yes, they do a great job.
They do a great job of all of that. It used to always kind of puzzle me, how come I'm from this wonderful place called India, which is ancient, everything in the world happened here. And then, we really don't see anything at all. That kind of also led to learning a little bit more about Bengaluru and all of that. So in the year 2017, someone told me, because of my obsession with Rajajinagar, which is well known in the workplace and friend circle, I used to work in Whitefield, but commute from Rajajinagar.
Oh my God.
So people thought I was nuts.
I think so too.
Thank you. I used to cycle, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
So that is even more.
Now respect.
Okay. In 2017, someone told me, do you know there is something called an inscription in your place, which apparently mentions the place to be from the 14th century. It was the first time in my life I had heard the word inscription. Much like you, I wasn't exactly kicked about studying history and all of that. That kind of really caught my attention, because the specific name that was mentioned was Kethamaranahalli by the person. One thing led to another, and finally I discovered where it was supposed to be, learned where it was supposed to be. I went there's absolutely nothing. It's a locality like every other place. However, I did find the book in which this is documented. So there is a book called the Epigraphist Karnataka, volume 9, which documents all of these inscriptions in it. And the book was written in 1905, 120 years ago. I see in and around that place, which is Malleshwaram, Yeshwanthpur, Peenya, all of those places have inscriptions going back hundreds of years. So Rajajinagar, there used to be a lake there. People in that area know that as Maryapanpalya Park today. It's a big park.
Okay.
That used to be the Kethamaranahalli lake.
Okay.
And this inscription was documented to be by the northern inlet of that lake. The inscription stone is gone, but we do know the contents of the stone because it was published in a book. And the other end of the city where I used to work, again in that area, Martyr, Patandur, Vibhutipura, all of the Tippasandra, all of those areas have inscriptions again going back 1,000 years plus and all of that. And they mention the place name. What I used to do is I used to pick a spot. Approximately, it would say at the village gate in Martyr or something like that. So when I'm going to the office, go past one of these and inquire, is it there, is it not there? So some of them would be there. People would show it. Almost all of them are unrecognizable. It's on a footpath there. It's in a temple compound. It's in abandoned, basically. Dirty, with garbage all over. Nobody knows what they are. Close to my house near Peenya, I found one from 750 CE. This is in a small lane, rubbish all over the place. When I touch it, I'm touching something written 1300 years ago. Goosebumps, hair-raising experiences.
Right, and hearing it from me, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah. So, but all of them were abandoned.
What's very interesting is that all of this history that you're talking about is not really available to access that easily. I think Bangalore in some sense is better off because we've got, as far as I know, we've got museums in double digits in Bangalore.
So right next to Vishweshwaraya Museum is the Government Museum.
Yes, right.
The far end of MG Road is the Paper Currency Museum. Runton Road has the Cartoon Gallery or the Cartoon Museum. There's something around about 100 museums in Bengaluru. Many of them private, a few of them government. I have a list out. You can search for it. Uday Kumar list of museums on Google or Facebook, and you're going to see it. It's gone viral all over the place. So there's a radio museum in Basveshwanagar, a museum of cycles. There's a calligraphy museum, textile museum. You can look it up and easily.
But you're saying there are at least 100.
There are about 100.
The reason I bring this.
So in Rajajinagar, probably again you go back to Rajajinagar. There's Rumale Art Gallery there.
Okay.
Rumale Chanbasappa was an extraordinary painter.
Okay.
So in his house is a museum.
And the house,
paintings.
And the house is still
there.
Of
course, they live there. So it's still there. There are lots of such places that are there. Absolutely not. There's no dearth of information in that sense. There is a fair amount of information out there. Is it accessible? Is it well known? That's the catch.
Yeah, because this is what you've just told me is stuff I didn't know, which I should have known.
Correct.
Right? Now, how does it come to me without me looking for it is one way. The other is, where do I go look for it if I'm interested? The reason, so like we went to Dubai and my wife was telling me that they have a museum here. And she was telling me the same thing, right? What is the history of Dubai? And they have a museum and they have documented how this city, everything that has happened. With the kind of rich history we have, why is it not?
It's a problem of plenty. Two, again, it's only now, post-90s, that economic prosperity has come our way. The heart of it is just stomach full is the first thing that you need to learn. Is your mind full? Are you kind of inquisitive? Are you intellectually this one? All of that comes only after. We have been in that phase where daily life was a challenge. Post-independence to the 90s, I think essentially a lot of things went to rot, which were not considered as absolutely essential for life.
Right.
Now that we have come off this, even people like you and me who kind of still can travel the world, enjoy this one, now we are kind of asking, come on, my place has a richer story, but where is it?
Where is it? Correct.
Yeah. I think that's a turning point. We are now at that tipping point where we are rediscovering ourselves and trying to learn about it and all of that. Like, why didn't we know about it? We went to schools where we studied history, which was irrelevant. when we ought to have been studying about our own city first.
Correct. Absolutely.
The start of your education should be the story of your locality, your street, your neighborhood, and then you grow to the city and you grow to the state and all of that. That's what you connect with. So we do a lot of events for schools.
Okay.
And every reaction we get from the teachers are saying the same thing. We don't know this. How can we tell this?
Yeah.
And the students are telling, why is this not our syllabus?
Correct. Same questions.
Right? So that the other reason for all of this is that sense of belonging, sense of identity is being eroded away without knowing this past.
Yeah.
This is why the Europeans and the Americans score. They're massively proud of their places because of their heritage. We are massively blindsided about our place because we have no idea what it is.
We don't know.
Absolutely.
We don't know enough.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you an example. When we were doing building the Hebbal Mantapa, a lady who was pregnant and was soon to deliver, she stayed right across the inscription stone. And she said, "Sir, I had no idea that my place was so ancient." He said, when my child is born, whether it's a boy or a girl, I'm going to add Hebbal into that name.
Lovely.
A boy was born. His name was Rohit Hebbal Shetty. Now, I bet that mother is going to tell that child forever, as long as she's alive or the child is alive. I added Hebbal into your name basically because, there is that inscription from the 8th century and all that. Yeah. Now, imagine the sense of belonging and pride that boy has.
Absolutely.
I think our education system now should kind of inculcate these things than the hard skills of only, calculating what are the roots of a quadratic equation or name the whatever. I think we have to go beyond that and include some of these other things as well. The emergency right now is in the preservation of these inscription stones.
Right.
They're getting destroyed. I said Bangalore has documented 175 inscriptions.
Yes.
Of which only 110 are traceable today. If we don't stop this now, we will not have a single stone to show and have a Rohit Hebbal Shetty named after them.
How does one go and...
So the Epigraphia Karnataka and other books give locational information. So all of these inscription stones have been added on a Google map.
Oh, okay.
You'll get access to the 1500 stones in and around Bangalore. The districts of Bangalore Urban, Bangalore Rural and Ramanagara districts.
1500 stones.
1500 inscription stones. I and our team have physically gone to those places, verified them, taken photographs. On the map, you can also see photographs of the place. The exact GPS locations are recorded and put up there. The text of the inscription is given there. Everything is given there. So interestingly, what we did was the 348 wards of GBA were announced. So for the popularization part, so what we did was we studied those ward names against names that feature in inscription stones. Okay, so like for Indiranagar, I said Binnamangala, right? So I said, don't name it Indiranagar ward, name it as Binnamangala ward.
Oh, did they agree?
Because pick the oldest settlement in that region. Don't call it Rajajinagar ward, call it Kethamaranahalli ward.
Right.
Interestingly, this is how naming has been happening traditionally from the first 1960s city corporation times onwards. Lately, they have kind of broken away from this tradition. So of the 348, we found about 242 or 241 were already aligned. For the 105, we gave a proposal saying, please name it like this. Not a single one happened. The previous delimitation exercise, we had proposed 40 and 20 were made it through. This time, it hasn't happened. And again, you should publicize the fact and say, you guys are called Domlur ward because Domlur is 1,000 years old. City authorities should also kind of say, look, we have picked ward names based on history. So just like the inscription stones, we have also developed a map of hero stones. So all you have to do is hero stones of Bengaluru. And the first hit will be a Google map for that. We have also built a similar map, ancient temples of Bengaluru.
And the oldest temple is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to guess that this is the temple near opposite Alsur Lake near RBNMS. There's one really old temple over there. So that look on your face is the same look when I was calling out museum.
So it's a teenage temple.
Kill me already. Okay, wait. If you said the oldest, so it got to be Begur then.
It's got to be Begur.
Yeah.
Good guess. In Begur, we have something called as the Panchalingeshwara temple complex.
Huh.
Okay, there are 5 lingas there, Nagareshwara, Nageshwara and all of that. This temple is from the same period, 900 CE.
900. Wow.
Okay, it's a magnificent temple reflecting the architecture of the time. It is magnificent both in terms of size as well and sculptural exquisiteness and all of that. Great condition, not in ruin. A lot of people go to Hampi, go to Kanchipuram, go to all of these places to see ancient temples. This temple is older than Tirupati temple, is older than the temples in Hampi. And I know also in terms of sculptural quality. And we have not one. We are upwards of like 15 to 20 such temples in the city. In the region, we have hundreds. All of these are on the ancient temples of Bengaluru map.
Tell me a little more about the Mythic Society. What is the Mythic? Because you're wearing a T-shirt saying
Yeah.
Mythic Society.
Right.
Is it like a cult, like the
No,
like the Freemasons? And
no, it's not like the Freemasons or any of those things. So the Mythic Society, actually the conversation is an excellent segue into that. It was established in 1909.
4 years after that book was released.
4 years after the book was released, and some of the people who were in the book were also a part of the team. At that time, it was the Europeans who were here and studying history, studying these inscriptions. In fact, the book was written by a person called B.L. Rice,
Oh,
who was an Englishman.
Right.
So it was the Europeans, French, Irish, British, all of these people who were studying Mysore history. So the society was essentially from day one being focused on history, archaeology, folklore, linguistics, and related subjects. And they built a library. And this library is a 50,000 library, a books collection, probably one of the best in southern India.
This is on Rupatunga Road, right?
This is on Ripatunga Road opposite RBI.
RBI, exactly. I've seen
you would
that
have seen on
structure.
you would have seen
huge columns.
a lot. Exactly, a lot of people mistake it to be a church. It's not a church; it's a Greco-Roman. It's an auditorium.
It's an auditor. Yeah, actually, I did come there for a quiz sometime many years ago.
Right. So it used to be a destination for quizzes.
Yeah.
But since then, it's not being given out for other events there.
Right.
That is called the Dali Hall.
Huh.
Dali was essentially the resident of the cantonment at that time. So the story behind it is that the Maharaja of Mysore gave the land as donation, and the raising of the funds for that was by Dali. There was
Just crowdfunded.
It was crowdfunded by Maharajas and all of those other people as well. A lot of people, including the Tatas, have funded some donation. That the Maharaja of Travancore, Maharaja of Baroda. There was a priest at St. Patrick's Church on Brigade Road. His name was Father Tebard. He was a Frenchman. He was really the force behind the activities of the Mythic Society and all of that. 1909 it was also the same year Indian Institute of Science was born. So the director of Indian Institute of Science was also the president or secretary of Mythic Society for a long time.
Wow.
So the nature of interdisciplinary research
Yeah.
is an integral part of Mythic Society. So the work we do is essentially 3D digitization of stone inscription. The work what we do is drawn on my experience, Vinay's experience on aerospace and defense sector and all that.
Okay.
So the scanning methods we use are actually brought in from that field.
So this is where you're digitizing these
Inscriptions,
stones.
yeah.
And
Why are we digitizing? Because stone erodes, fades away, cracks and all of that. So we are making accurate copies of that.
But also, I read one story where someone was able to, because of the high quality of the digitization, actually give you some information about the stone that you were not able to access before.
No. This is the same Hebbal Kitaya inscription. At that time we were not proficient in reading. We only knew enough to scan and all of that. So the epigraphist is the person who reads. He used some traditional methods of capturing what was written on that. He could not find the name of the attacker.
Okay.
He knew Kitaya, he knew all of that, but who attacker was kind of worn out. He couldn't read it. So when we scanned it and gave him the scanned images, he could read it to be Rattavadi or the Ashtakutas.
Oh,
so it was like a fill up the blanks for a kind of thing.
Okay.
But this is very common. Now it happens with every inscription. Whatever has been published, we now kind of correct it and we improve on it because our methods are better and all of that as well.
And also, when I spoke to, I think you or Vinay several years ago, not several years ago, a few years ago, you said that you're also making these scans so people can actually own them.
Yes.
So if I want to own a 3D inscription of let's say the Hebbal or the Hero Stone, I can get a digitized copy of it.
Yes. So what we do is upwards of about 800 to 1,000 images we have shared on Wikimedia Commons. Okay. Anyone can go and download that.
Right.
Okay. Now 3D models are much more difficult because they're massive. You really need good computers to work with them, handle them, all of those kind of things, which normally people don't have. So if you say like, give me a replica, I'm happy to give it to you, the digital data for you to make a 3D print of it. I'm happy to give it to you, but it's going to be expensive and it's going to cost a lot for you to do that.
Right.
However, we have done it only in cases where you need hundreds and thousands of these. Like for the Hebbal Ketaya Mantapa, we raised funds through a memento, which was a thing.
Okay.
In the Lalbagh flower show a couple of years back, the theme of the flower show was History of Bangalore.
Okay.
In that, the Lalbagh authorities wanted a replica of the Bengaluru inscription to give away to the VIP guests. The Begur one. So they wanted a replica of that to give away to their VIP guests like the governor, chief minister, this man. So they had, I think, about 200 of those down there.
Right. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that one of the stones was actually used in a legal conflict.
Yes. So this is the Patandur, Agrahara, Patandur lake story. So a lot of people may not recognize Patandur. Maybe, because of the metro they made, a lot of people will recognize. This is the ITPL region. There is a lake there, or rather there was a lake there, which was given away to a private party. Now, some of the residents there knew that that was a lake. You can't give away a lake. A lake is considered as public civic amenity and must stay there, right? So they went and objected to it to the authorities and said, how can you make this private land? This is a lake. So the government authorities said, it's not a lake. Have you ever seen water there? At the same time, I had written about an inscription stone in Kadgodi, which was about a construction of a lake in Patandur. And that was from 1032 CE, 1,000 years ago. It refers to the place Patandur. This inscription stone is sitting in the Kadgodi, in a graveyard in Kadgodi. There's graves all around. This one is about 6 foot tall, lonely tall pillar column sitting there. It is a Tamil inscription. And essentially it narrates what day, who, why built that lake, how much donations were made for all of that. So that caught the attention of the people who are fighting there. So essentially we showed it to them. And then it was also documented in the book, The Epigraphy of Antarctica. In addition, they also found a map from the 1800s which showed the lake boundaries and all of that. So all of this was given as evidence to the court. The case is ongoing.
It's still going on.
It is ongoing. I'm not so sure if this evidence is going to be considered good enough for them to whatever. The civil litigation is going to be a lot more complex. But inscriptions feature as evidences in courts very often. Even the famous Ayodhya case, there were a lot of inscriptions that were used.
You've done a lot of work with this. Which is your favorite? The one that you were most fascinated by? Not the most important.
So the first one that I saw was essentially the one at Pina, 8th century one, sitting in the garbage. And for me to run my finger over those, mind-boggling.
So your first.
There's Hebbal Ketaya was essentially another one which was extreme thing because it got read in 2018, not 100 years ago. And that's the oldest inscription in the city, which makes Ketaya the first named resident of Bengaluru. The other way to think about it is, it's the first evidence of literacy in the city. And this city is founded on literacy. Unlike, say, Delhi, which is a political capital, or Bombay, which is a commercial capital, or Srirangam, which is a... Bangalore has no claim to fame like that except its educated citizens.
I know this is going to sound really trivial after all of this, but we do something called the 5 Wonders of Bengaluru. What for you would be the 5 Wonders of Bengaluru?
The fact that we have ultra-modern city here, and we have something ancient in the form of the Begur temple. That's the only place in the world you can see this.
Right.
For me, that's mind-boggling.
It is.
That's
it
mine.
really is. It really is.
Everyone knows Bangalore is multilingual, cosmopolitan, etc., and all that. Ask any native Bangalorean, born here kind of a thing, how many languages you speak. You'll usually get an answer of 5 or more. Now, this is rooted in history. We have inscriptions in
Tamil and Telugu.
And Kannada.
And Kannada, right.
And Nagari. The interesting part is, Tamil inscriptions have been installed, commissioned during the times of Hoysala kings, Vijayanagar kings, all of them as well. Hoysala kings are thought to be the Kannada kings. Vijayanagar kings are also something of that type. They wrote profusely in Tamil. That's why we speak so many languages here.
Okay, great.
Okay? We are proud of our languages. We are not jingoistic, chauvinistic about our languages. That's the second memorable thing for me. And that's again rooted in the past of the city.
Right.
3, I would say, is more a modernistic thing. This is an extremely lively, happening place in multiple ways. Not boring at all, no matter what your interest. You're an introvert, extrovert, whatever, this is a lovely place to live in. A lot of people don't understand every product you use anywhere in the world has a Bangalore contribution to it. Okay.
Oh my God, what a motherhood statement.
Let me elaborate. The next time you take a plane, look at the engines. Most likely the G engines. Every aircraft being powered on a G engine across the world is flying because of some guys here in Bangalore. Next time you use a Samsung phone or an Apple phone or a Google phone. Next time you fall sick and undergo a MRI CT scan, that machine is designed here. Whether it's Siemens or Philips or GE or somebody else. Bangalore is shaping the future in ways nobody can understand. The last one, again, is kind of not in the historical context. The amount of aware citizens in Bangalore, mind-boggling. Take Arun Pai, for example. He's obsessed with improving the cleanliness of the city and footpaths and all that. He's made a big difference to the city. Citizen pressure on shaping the city is mind-boggling. I would like to have given you a list of places, but holistically, these are the things that I think are great.
Yeah. And it's a very different list from what most people have given us. So that perspective. When we started this podcast, it came purely from love for Bangalore, right? And I think this episode has told us why this podcast is so important as well.
It is.
I've almost teared up, by the way. You can't see. I've almost teared up because of all the things that you've said. We end with a postcard to Bangalore. Postcard to Bengaluru, your city.
Yeah, dear Bengaluru, thank you for all that you've given me. I hope I deserve it and I give it back to you as much as you've given me. I wish every Bangalorean absolutely stands up for the city, makes it a first world city in every way. We are there in many ways. We have few places to go to. Stand up for the city like it's your home. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uday. It was for me one of my most gorgeous episodes. So thank you for sharing all of that with us. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.